figured out how those ice creams work.
Which ones?
And I stuck it on my face.
Don't stuck in your face.
No, I stuck it on my face. I saw it and immediately.
Okay, y'all are supposed to be working on this. Get your marker board out. Your favorite word problem. Directly proportional to, that's the key.
I saw the second word, like, I haven't seen it in several days.
Yeah, the key here is as directly proportional to. Yeah, yeah. Have y'all been getting Candace on in your classes?
She wasn't in history, but she told me on my notes that I shared with her that she was like she has audio and
Video, which is the one thing you need to be a virtual student. Oh, there she is. Okay, there she is. I want to, hi. Oh no, okay, hang on. Let's see, more. Virtual disconnect, no, that's not helping. Stop video. There we go. All right. So right now, everybody's working on this question right here on the board. Good. Well, okay, then what's the equation? You're not quite finished. Yeah. Once you find the K, then you can plug it in. Good job. James, you with us?
Did I do this right?
Circumference is directly, I'm not sure what you did. That's kind of confusing. Okay, most of y'all got it pretty good. So you're following this pattern, right? Directly proportional uses this pattern. Okay, and it says the circumference is directly proportional, so we put the K there, to the radius. And if the radius of the circle is 5, I'm going to put a 5 by radius, and the circumference is 31.4, then what's the constant of proportionality? Okay, so to get K by itself, you divided both sides by 5. I think you're kind of there, right, James? I saw a 5 and a K, I think. And then you got 6.28 equals K. And so then your actual equation, which looks kind of like that, except really it's going to be better to look like that because you're using circumference and radius. So it'd be C equals 6.28 R. Now, where else have you seen an equation that had to do with circumference and radius? Geometry. And what was that equation? It had a pi in it, right? What was it? Huh? No, that's area. It did have a pi and a 2 pi r. So how are these two similar?
6.28 is 2 pi.
Yeah, 2 pi. If 1 pi is 3.14, then 2 pi is 6.28. So a lot of these formulas that you already have are direct variation formulas. Okay, F equals ma in physics. That's a direct variation where m is your constant of proportionality. Okay, so that's just a little review from last week. Meanwhile, think we started working on. Yeah, we were working on section 110. And the problems were 1 through 10 all. And then 11 through 49 odd. Alrighty. And so we'll finish those up today. And then if you finish early, I'll give you the worksheet that we're going to start tomorrow, which is over sections 1.7 all the way to 1.10. All right, we've been doing that lately, you know, doing little groups at a time. So I'm going to turn the light off. And I will come and help. Okay, so I'm gonna get where this is and push that. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry, what?
Number 17.
So you need to actually make a graph and graph all these, all this data. And what was your question?
Oh, I have to do all of these. Okay.
Yeah, and then A, B, C, D, right.
Okay.
Where are you at?
1.
1, okay, well. Did you start it last week? On Friday? Oh, we didn't have class on Friday, but on Thursday we were working on this. You were here, weren't you? So you might have started it already. You need to have a binder. Is that a binder for this class? Yeah, so like all this kind of stuff here should be in a binder, yeah. Organized by like chronologically. And you're past the 1.1 through 10? Good. Where are you at? I'm just checking progress here. 13, good, okay. How are you? Yeah, moving right along, okay.
Practically almost done with everything. I just need 17.
Yeah, on 17, you got to actually plot all of that data on your paper. And then you also have to plot it on stat and do because you're doing it both on paper and on the calculator. So you may need more space than that to get all this data, you know. Like if you want to, you could say see next page and have it on like half of a sheet or something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would recommend doing, was that 17?
17.
Yeah, 17, like using half of a sheet of paper to do the plotting, or at least a good third or fourth of it. So you can get all those points in. And I'm taking roll. There we go. You know what they're asking for on those? I think they want you to, on 13, they want you to find an equation of the line. Okay, yeah. So you got to find an equation of that line by picking points and finding the slope and all that. What to do? Oh, well, what do you mean? What? Like?
On the equation.
Yeah. How did you get 0.125?
1.
1.125. Oh, I see. Okay, and then that's 3 point. Yeah. I got, so you're estimating off the scale. Yeah, that's right, that's good. And then you do the y2 minus y1 first, you find the slope, yeah, okay. Um, If you can't find any, let me know. I'll help you find them. You know what? Oh, I should have told you this earlier. When you're doing the years, it's best to use, T equals 20. It represents, are you doing that? Like instead of typing in 1920, you're just typing in 20?
No, man.
Okay, so go back and change those to like 20, 24, 28. Just do the last two digits, because that way it's easier to see the origin and you get a better y-intercept.
When I get to the 2000s, why use 100 and 104?
Oh, I guess so, yeah. If that's 20, that's going to be 108. You're right. That's a good point. Did y'all hear that? When you're doing number 17 and you're putting numbers, this is for any of the graphs you do. If it's a year that you're putting in, you need to be sure and just put in the ones place, or maybe the tens and ones, like on number 17. Instead of 20, 24, you'll just put in 24. That way everybody will get the same y-intercept. It'll be closer to your origin. And be sure you're checking your answers in the back of the book too. Yep. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Not 10. Okay. Hmm. $19.98 is draft 8. So ah, is 10 and 2010. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Hang on just a second, Eddie. That's annoying. Yes.
How do you, so it's summary plot, right? How do you do,
Ugh, okay, you plotted the wrong kind. So that's your data?
yes, ma'am?
And, okay, so when you, is that supposed to be X?
Yes,
I don't see an X on there.
thought I put it there.
Maybe what the problem is too. Oh no, you're not, okay. Oh, they have an X there, yeah. Okay, and so when you said to graph it, like if you, what do you do to menu to go to graph? Tape, no,
Get the data and then summary plot.
summary plot. Okay, click that because is there another, can you go out further on that one?
No, ma'am.
Oh, because it looks like it's doing a bar graph when you want to do a scatter plot. So go down to quick graph. What does that do? That's probably more like it. I wonder if you can get rid of that other one.
I'll try.
Okay. So Candace, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. There she is. Okay. From what I understand on your, let me double check the latest on the texts. Hang on. I use a calculator. That's why I use this T. Right. Okay. So whenever the independent variable is not X, you still put it in your calculator as if it was X. Okay. And so you're going to go to your Y equals on your calculator. And then when you're typing in, let's see, what was it? 1298.8T, you'll put 1298.8X. 1298.8 and then X. And then plus 57,000. It's a big number. 094. 094. So your window should look like this. I mean your screen. Okay, and then when you do your window, you are going to go from, it says 8 to 20. I would go ahead and leave your X min as 0 and your X max at 20. And I'm not sure what you're going to need for the Y's, I guess, because, let's see. $65 to $85. Okay, so the first value is 65,000, or a little below, a little higher. It's like 67,000. So I'm going to do for my X min 65,000, a little bit lower than that lowest Y value. And then the biggest one was 80-something thousand, 83,000. So I'm going to go up to 85,000. And I'll just go by scale of 1,000. So this is what my window looks like. No, you can't do that. Why don't you unmute yourself and you can tell me what's wrong? Don't like it. It's too dark. See, here's what I got on my graph when I told it to graph. Got a line like that. And let me see. Did you go to your stat and put in all the data points?
I
Oh, here's
cannot
it.
answer that.
Yeah. Did you get your window and your graph in there?
Here's the thing, I've never understood window. I can go to window and I have X-min and X-max and all of that, but I've never understood why we have to put in numbers there or why they have to be different from what's in
Looks like you're
the
unmuted, but I can't hear you. Now you're muted. Did you get yours okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what you did for this data? And have you graphed it on a piece of paper yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Just
Ah, okay. I got you. Okay, I see the chat. Let me show you on the whiteboard, okay? So let's say you have data D98, 1999, 2000, etc. Okay, and if you're going to graph that, this is supposed to always be 0. And so 1998 would be way, way out here. You know, and 1999 would be right there. Wait, 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 2010. And so, uh-oh, can you see? Hang on, let me unfreeze it. There we go. So if you graphed it, if you plugged in the data like it is with the years, 1,998, all your data would be way over here, way from the origin. And so your graph would be just some little bitty thing way over here. But if you just use these numbers, and actually that would be 8, this would be 9, that 2000 would be 10, 11, and so on, all the way down to 20 for the year 2010. Then you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 20. So this is 1998, and this is 2010. And so you're going to be using this part of your graph. And it's a much bigger part, and it's closer to the origin. And when you graph it, you'll have a y-intercept that's not too far from your origin also, whereas if you had done this one and maybe you had, say, a slant like that, and you tried to do it, by the time it got to the y-axis, it'd be way, way down here. And so to make it more convenient to graph and to have a nicer equation, you do it by switching the years to smaller numbers. And so they tell you that 1998 corresponds to 8. And so then you can, you know how to line up all the other dates. I don't know if that helped. Let me look at the chat line on here. Oh, you were chatting, okay. Okay, X-Men, no wait, don't lie. Okay, and so they do that on all of the graphs that use years for with the X value. They always change the years to be closer to 0. And then everybody has to deal with that. And so like when you do 17, it tells you to let t equal 20 represent 1920. And so instead of putting in 1920 for that data point, you'd put 20, comma 146.6. And the next one would be 24, comma 151. Did I have any more here? Oh, okay, that's a good point. Let me go back. So normally 2010 would be listed as the year 10, but they started with 1998 and they didn't want to make that -2 and have year 2000 be 0 because 1998 was 2 years before 2000. And so they didn't want to use negative numbers because that weirds up the y-intercept also. And so they kind of shifted it over and said, we're going to use 1998 as 8. That means the year 2000, see over here, would be 10 according to that. You just start counting one year, you just, if you go up a year, this number goes up a year. And so if year 2000 is 10, then 2010 has to be 20 because it's 20 years after 1998. No, it's not 20 years after, it's 12 years after 1998. And so 8 plus 12 is 20. Most of them are a little bit better than that. I'm covering up your picture. I'm gonna go back to the, can you see this now a little bit better? How are y'all doing, everybody else? Okay, wait, let me freeze this. Yeah. Okay. Should be able to see through the plastic, but it's still pretty hard, right? Also, if you make your dots bigger, like you just have little tiny dots, if you make them bigger and rounder, then you can, it's easier to do it too. All right. Oh, wow. Was this?
Yeah.
Is that what it looked like on your? Yeah, pretty much. Don't know if I'd call that a linear correlation. What's it do with it? Don't worry. No. I mean, the dots look about the same, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you tell this to do a regression line, you'll be able to see if yours was anywhere in the vicinity, that they get. I think that's what they wanted you to do. Because some of them are really hard to come up with an accurate best fit line. Okay. So it looks like your picture that you showed me there, Candace, is just the standard window. And you can modify that. Looks like you've got it on alpha. Can you get your window to be, let me turn mine on. I'm gonna go down. So can you get your window to look like that? I'll take that as a yes. Why do we do that? And why those numbers specifically? Well, the reason I did this window, Candace, I did 0 to 20 because I like to have I like when it graphs it to show the y-axis, and the y-axis is when the x-min is 0. And then I could have just made it go 8 to 20, and that would have been okay. So that you always want your x-min and max to add or to kind of correlate to your lowest x value and your highest x value. In this case, our lowest x value is 8 and the highest was 20. So you could just put x-min as 8 and x-max as 20. And then on the y's, you do the same thing. You have it, the y-min about this as low as your lowest y value. And I like to go a little bit lower and kind of round it off. And so the lowest y value was 67,547. And so I just kind of rounded that. I want to round down, and I like to go by thousands. And so I went to 65,000. But you could have left it that same exact number, the actual lowest y number, you can do that. I round them off just to make them look nice, to make the graph look nice, so that I have nice round numbers down at the bottom, like when I'm, or to the side where the tick marks are, it goes by thousands or something instead of starting at some weird number. But you don't have to do that. You can go ahead and just make your window, make your y min that smallest y value, which was what, 67 something. I'm going to do that. 67, 547. And then your highest one was 83, 941. So I'm going to do that. And I'll just leave my y scale as 1 because that's what it normally is. And then when I graph it, I got an error. So hang on. Okay, that window. Well, y min. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, so. Okay, let me look at my stat. Oh, I haven't put in my numbers yet. Okay, so I need to enter my y values in my calculator, so I'll be right with you. 47. $81, 83. Okay. Go back to my window and put 8. Okay, so here's my window now. I went from the highest, lowest x value to the highest x value, and the lowest y value to the highest y value. Okay, and so I'm going to tell it to graph, and I need to go to my stat plot. Nope, don't want to go stat plot. I'm just going to graph. Hang on a second. Stat plot, I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so I get this graph. And if you notice, it starts at the very corner of my graph, and it goes to the very corner of the other graph, because this very bottom corner is that actual point, the lowest, the 8 comma whatever 67,000, and then up here was 20 and 80 whatever it was thousand. Okay, and so it doesn't show, and that you can leave it like that. It just what they want you to do is to go to stat, like right here. They're going to want you to put the data in also. So you hit the stat button and then enter, and you get, can you plug it into that data, or have you done that? No. Okay, do you know how? Okay, let me go back again. So I can quit. So on the home screen, I'm going to go to this stat button right here. It says STAT, and it says edit. So then I hit enter, and it gives you the L1 and the L2. Do you have any numbers already in L1 or L2? Like if you don't have, if there's some numbers there, but you don't want the numbers that are there, you can scroll up so the cursor's on L1. Like I could put the cursor right up here on L1, and then you hit clear enter, and that'll erase everything in that column. Clear enter. So you got to clear your columns first. Yeah, and then put the data in like I did here. That's just the same as what you have in the book, except you change the 1998 to 8 and so on. Ooh. Let me see if these pictures. Okay. Good. When are we done? Yeah, oh, that's right, because it's the last period of the day. Anybody stuck anywhere? No, you doing okay? Because whatever you don't do in class today, you'll need to finish for homework. And so you need to be sure and ask any questions that you had before you leave, if you're not finished. Did you finish?
With 17.
Okay, still on 17, yeah. Oh, so you had to go way up there, yeah. Okay, so it's kind of weird up there, right? And so like if you were to actually make a best fit line, maybe it would touch a couple of these points, and you could use those actual points to come up with an equation. And then if you do all that stuff in your calculator, you could compare your equation to the regression line. Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
How'd it look? Were you close?
It was rather close, actually.
Okay, we'll put down what both of them were so I can compare too. Okay. Okay. You got to put all your Y values in too, Candace. Did you do that yet? So it'll look like that, yeah. And then we'll have to use the stat plot button. So when you get all the Y values in, let me know. It's kind of tedious punching it all in. Yes.
Number 17.
All those data, and then you got all the decimals and all that stuff. Yes, it's a pain. If you have a bigger scale, it's easier, you know, like,
Yeah,
you know,
I did mine by like tens.
by tens. Is that what I thought it had years on it. It didn't. This one?
2% 20 is 1920.
Ah, okay.
I just did it like that.
But,
So
but
2
it's,
is 20.
yeah, but all your data is just in between 8 and 20 though. Because, no, between 20 and Oh, 108.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. 100, yeah, you're right. And so you're gonna, yeah, okay, you did good there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I just slapped 7 on number 19. I think that is the answer.
Well, in 17,
Yeah,
they,
it is 7. I just slapped 7 there.
good. On this one, they want you to plot all those
I
points.
have to plot points too. I can't just like draw a line where I can.
No. You gotta plot all those. I know it's very tedious. They make you do that so that then you'll love your calculator because it's much easier. Even having to type all the numbers in.
I don't love my calculator either way though. It's-
Well, if you were normal, you would. I guess that's what they assume, I think.
To do it the hard way so that you appreciate the easy way.
That's right. When I was your age, we didn't have these graphing
This is harder
calculators.
than this sometimes.
Yeah, but Inspire is.
Just imagine going your whole life plowing a field with a single bladed plow, and then finally you get a 3-bladed plow.
Or John Deere.
Or that, yeah. That's this. You gotta do it the hard way.
And they want you to know both by experience. It builds character.
Yeah. Not a great one.
Okay, so Candace, we're gonna do something, a couple new things to your calculator. So listen up. You ready? Okay. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hit the second button here, and you're gonna go to this middle one that says, above it, it says format in blue. The second zoom is actually format. And where you get this kind of thing, I think you have it where it says grid on is highlighted on yours. So you want to turn the grid off. So get it over to grid off and hit enter. Okay, then I want you to do the second button and then straight up the y equals, second y equals, and you'll get that thing. And we want the plot to be on. Right over here it says off, and we want it to be on. So you're going to go over there. Actually, I think if it's on number 1, you just hit enter. Wait, yeah, I think so. And there we go. And then you'll get another screen, and it's blinking on. You're going to hit enter. So it's like that. And then everything else you should have this first little graph highlighted, and you should have X list L1 and Y list L2, and then the mark should be that first little mark. Okay, and then you hit enter. Okay, and then if you go to graph, you should see the dots on your graph as well as the line you have from y equals. You got all these dots? Yay, okay. So the dots come from your data table, and the line comes from your y equals. And they apparently looks like a pretty good fit. Okay, yes?
Why don't we just use M instead of X? If it's practically going to be the same thing.
And instead of x,
M. Because it's still in either way kind of be the Y equals MX.
oh,
So
instead of K?
Yeah, why do they use K?
Yeah, because if it's linear, so k is the same thing as m, and y equals mx plus b, right?
Yeah, so why use K?
Because they want it to be constant of proportionality. So k stands for constant because it has that k sound, even though it's spelled with a c.
Yeah, it's spelled the same.
I know.
German spelling.
Math
That's why it's
people.
okay.
German?
Yeah, it's German. It's the German spelling. There's lots of famous historical mathematicians for German.
Yeah, and they say like children is kinder with a k instead of a c. So I don't know. We can't go back and make them change it. So we just have to live with it.
Convention.
Yes.
Convention's okay?
No.
in German?
Convention just means like that's why things.
Yeah.
How do we do this?
Determine whether various form of that or that. Okay, so you see what x is doing. You're going from 5 to 10 to 15. So x is going up. Is y going up?
No.
It's going down. That means it's inverse. That's all you got to do.
Oh.
Let's see, is y going up just like x, or is y doing the opposite of x?
Okay, we could clarify. So I was like,
did clarify.
Clarify. Okay.
I did clarify.
Okay, let's see what your graph here looks like. 8, 20. Now, they may not want you to do it on paper, Candace, on number 11. Let me look. Plot the actual data and the model on the same coordinate axis. Okay. We're going to say for number 11, Candace, that you plotted it on your calculator if you don't want to have to graph that by hand. Now, when you get to 17, you have to graph it by hand and by calculator. But I'll let you just do the calculator one on 11, and you can just take a picture of it. Is that all right? Okay, good. Oh, it's a beautiful picture, but your picture is upside down, but that's okay. It's still beautiful. See, on my, this is a picture of your text and it's upside down. But that's okay. But that's good. Okay, so that'll be your number 11 then. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be starting that worksheet, and I'm going to email Candace a copy of the worksheet. And then on Wednesday, guess what? No, it'll be a quiz over the worksheet. Unless I made plans to have you work on it for 2 days. Let me check. Wednesday, yeah, no, I have you working on it twice, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the quiz is Thursday. Okay, and there'll be like 30 problems on the worksheet and only 17 on the actual quiz, and so you'll be able to, you should be able to get that done on a Thursday small class period.
What about Friday?
I don't know yet. I haven't got that far in my plans. Does anybody want that worksheet already? Somebody might. I'm already overwhelmed. You're already overwhelmed?
What was the KV?
Oh, okay. Well, pick any point, and I would pick some without any decimals like that one. And since you know it's this model, or which one do you?
It's this one.
Actually, these numbers, the numbers getting better because they're negative, though they're going more and more left. So it's inverse. And so then you just plug into the X, one of the X and Y values and find K that way. Yeah, they always trick you with that one. Now, if you finish, you can turn your paper in, and we're still going to use class time wisely and start the worksheet. Otherwise, you need to keep working. You didn't finish?
No, I'm on 27 now.
Where's your stuff? Oh, always so mysterious. Yeah, okay, so here they're saying we're going to let K equals 1, which makes it easy, and N is equal to 2. And so you basically have Y equals X squared. So 2 squared is 4, 4 squared, 16, 6 squared, like that. And like if you had to do 29, which you do, now you're going to have 1/2 X to the 3rd. So you got to figure out what X, all those numbers are. Make sense?
It's just 1, 8, 27, what's this one? 64, and then 125?
For 27?
Yeah, no, 29.
29? Oh man, I have to think about it. Hang on. Because you have a 1/2 there. Cubed, so 8, half of 8 is 4. And that one is cubed is what?
64.
64, and half of that would be 32. That makes sense? Because your N is 3.
I was just going to divide this by 2 first, and then.
No.
That's right. Okay, so then it would be.
Yeah, you got to remember PEMDAS. The PEM is powers. Always do the powers first, or parentheses.
8. So that would be 4. Then 64 4 divided by.
Cube it
32.
first. Yeah, cube it and then cut it in half. Yeah, then they get too big and I can't do it in my head. Use your calculator. You can punch those buttons. You don't have a problem punching buttons, do you? Okay.
Calculators and chocolate.
So are you seriously overwhelmed or just underimpressed with all the work?
With this, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine with this.
Oh, you're understanding it?
Oh yeah. Right now I'm just taking a break. I have a break.
Oh, yeah. Picking points. Hang on. Through the data. Dots. Hi. Jessica, do you have the handout or did you use that? The handout, that one with 13 and 4? I wanted to use yours to show Candace, if you don't mind. Those two? Okay, and then I'll staple them. That's 14. That's what we did as an example. There we go. Okay, so Candace, here's an example using Jesse's as an example. So she tried to draw a line that hit some of the points, but had as many points above the line as she had below the line or thereabouts. And so she drew that line that she thought that one looked pretty good. And then she thought, well, there's a point on that line and there's a point on that line. So she kind of estimated those coordinates. And then she was able to somewhere, that was right. Down here, she used those points to find the slope and then figured out what the equation would be. And they didn't have anything in there about if that was good or not. I mean, they didn't have a, no. I wonder if the answer key did. Hmm? You want that? Yeah. Oh, they do have, they say 1/4 x plus 3. You have 0.45x. So you're a little steeper than they picked. Plus 2.4, which you would have a lower y value if yours was not as steep. But it was, you know, in the ballpark. And Yes. Oh, because it's running out. And I guess the other one's out already. I've battled many staplers.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a bad stapler. It's like right when you need it most.
I go on Mondays and Wednesdays to A&M, and I have to staple stuff. And they have a workroom, and they have the stuff over here you can deal with, and stuff over here, and they have like 6 staplers. Only one of them works, and it's not the one it's a weird one. It's like where you push the paper and it goes snap. You know,
Yeah.
It's electric, and it doesn't even look like a stapler. It's the only one that works. I don't even know why the other ones are in there still.
So you like an adjunct
Yeah.
over there?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's kind of the dream for me.
You got a master's?
Nope.
Oh, well, they
Yeah.
paid for me to get a master's. Maybe they can come up with a program for you to, that was handy. Question, or are you done, or no, you're still working? Okay. What was I gonna do next? I was gonna get your handout. Okay. I didn't attach the answers because a lot of times the answers are wrong anyway. So, but I'll have it available for you to check yours before you turn it in. Yeah. Worksheet. Yeah. Figured if you had a copy of that, if you're working with Candace. Yeah, I think I have an extra. That's what we're going to start on tomorrow and the next day. Then I'll have a key available for them to check their answers.
What is FOG and GOF? GOG?
Those are the compositions. Like F of G is F of FOF. FOG is F of G of X.
Okay. So F of G.
Yeah.
So you would put F of G of X.
You would put the G inside the X. You always
Yeah.
put the second one inside the first one. And so like this one, GOG, you put it into itself.
Yeah. Okay. I'd just never seen that notation before.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I like the other kind better.
Fine fog. What is
And
fog?
GOF. GOG.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry. Okay, so whatever you don't have finished, finish for homework, and I'll answer any questions on any of that before you turn it in. And then we can work on the worksheet. And the worksheet, like I said, is reviewing section 17 to 110. So we go back and look at all those transformations and compositions and whatnot. And then we'll review the entire chapter and have a chapter test probably the next week. after fall break and you've had a chance to forget it all. Yeah, you may clean your desk off. Here's a spray up here. Any last minute questions, Candace? Yeah. Okay. I was looking at the chat. Do you have any questions? And oh, you're not doing good. That's not good. Well, go through and work ones you think you can do and send me questions, or Mr. Smith, you can work with him on them. Or text them to me. You could also email them. Mr. Smith may have more time to go over it. So either one. On the ones you have questions with. I'm sure I will have questions, but I won't do it at all, not be negative. Okay, well, we will have reviews before the quiz and then another review before the test. And the questions on the test and quiz will be the same questions we have on the review. So we still have the reviews to understand before you have to worry about the test. Okay? It'll be all right. Trust me. Okay, well, I'm going to hang up then, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.